played through Pokemon Violet with a randomizer. For this, we will stick to the rules of a Nuzlocke, and to make it more exciting, I will only use one type. The rules are simple. I can catch as many Pokemon of one type as I want. I'll stick to the level cap of the current boss fight. If a Pokemon is fainted, it will stay fainted, and I cannot use any items in battle. I cannot switch out Pokemon after an enemy KO, so battle styles set. I will use only one legendary or paradox Pokemon at the same time. To make it a little bit more simple, we have access to unlimited rare candies to skip unnecessary grinding and Pokeballs, so I can always catch new Pokemon. And now we can already start. Have fun! We start off our adventure at home, where we get sent off by our mom and the professor. Shortly after this, he will also present our new starters to us. I don't think they look quite normal, but what about you? They are very funny. So with those three in the back, we make our way to Nimila's home, where we get our first cutscene. Was andere? Einfach eine Pflanze, okay. Ja, dann nehme ich das Tentakel. Oh Gott. Oh Gott. Seine Beine. Scheiße. Was macht er da? Er liegt einfach am Boden erst. Das ist Kampf. Ah, Scheiße. Ich meine, das ist Pflanze, okay. Guckt euch das an. Oh mein Gott, ist das krass. Oh, das Mundtier. Scheiße. Oh Gott, ich kann nicht mehr. Oh Gott, das Pflanzenfeeling. Oh, scheiße. Alter, ist das krass. Oh mein Gott. Das Tentakel mit den Beinen oben aus dem Kopf. So those three are our new companions, I see. Our decision lands on Toadscool, because it has the best type composition for us. So we can use Grass type and Ground type. Shortly after this, Nimona already wants to battle us. She's leading with her Horsey, which we can just absorb spam until it's fainted. Yeah, this was already our first battle and we won perfectly against Nimona. Well, now we can finally start out on our adventure, and as you can see, there are things that are not normal. There are dragons on the ground. There are fishes that are walking on the road. What is this? And we already found our first legendary Pokemon. Ja, Brudi, was geht und Pokémon? Because our first caught Pokemon is a Golok, we lock ourselves to do type ground. Here we can see how Miraidon gets harassed by a few small dogs. I'm not sure why it lets that happen. I guess we will help him out with those bad doggoos. After that, Miraidon takes us to a very dark cave. It's dark and scary, and I don't have a good feeling doing this. Once in the cave, we meet a bird that just doesn't let us pass. I'm not sure what's up with him, he looks kinda weird. I guess we will just fight against that bird. I just want to make clear that this bird looks really weird. Oh my god, just look at him. God thanks we have Miraidon with us. Can save us from this really scary bird. Oh my god, just look at him. He looks so weird. What's just wrong with him? Luckily Miraidon comes down and grabs us so he can take us back up to the cave to Nimona. Hey, thanks a lot Miraidon for the rescue. But we are so heavy that it just collapses on the ground right after that. Now Arven wants to get defeated, also known as Pepper in German. He senses Electivire into battle, but after a few mud slaps in its face, it also just goes down. Poor Arven, I'm sorry for defeating you. So Nimona wants to meet us on top of the lighthouse, and there we can see some very interesting Pokemon. Like, I don't know, those are Trumpmons, I think. I'm not quite sure what they're called, but they look really interesting flying just down and being stuck here on the lighthouse. Also, did I mention that this game looks really gorgeous? Like, look at this, it just looks so fantastic and good. We catch a Mudstail with the ability Compound Eyes, a Quagsire with the ability Unaware, a Sandile with the ability Beats of Ruin, and a Trapinch with the ability Dazzling. Nimona wants to get slain right after that, again. She's just leading with a Cosmog, like, holy shit, how do you get this legendary so early? But it just uses Splash, so it's not a big threat against us, I guess. So we just spam it down with Swift, and it's easily fainted. Next up is a Iron Threat with a Bug Terra type. This doesn't help her much. Her Bulldoze does barely any damage. And now that she's Bug type, we can just poison her and defeat her with some Swift spam. Bye bye Iron Threat, see ya. And with that, we have won our second match against Nimona. Easy peasy. Finally, we are able to visit the main city of the game, and we immediately get attacked by some bad guys from Team Star. They even lead with an Eternatus. Wow, what is this? However, since it's pretty weak, we can just really easily defeat it. Once we arrive at the academy, we get talked to by so many people and it's so annoying. But as soon as we are through with that, we can finally leave the city and get to our journey. First off, we catch a Gibble with the ability Fairy Aura. What is that? We catch a Clodsire with the ability Battery. So, now we can finally take part in the Olive Race.
Encara Messi, 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 gol, 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 gol.
After that, we catch a Rhyperior with the ability Curse Body and get ready to fight our first gym leader, Katie. She starts out heavy with a Charizard and spams us with some Heat Waves, which does a lot of damage to our Pokemon and puts us in a hard situation. Our Rhyperior is also getting hit hard by the Heat Wave, but it pulls off a smackdown and gets the Charizard out of the air. Our Great Horse then does the rest with some Bulldozers, which can now hit because of Smackdown. Her next Pokemon is a Mismagius, for which we switch into our Golurk. However, she first pulls off a Ghost Attack on us, which does heavy damage, but we get to finish her with a Shadow Punch. Her next Pokemon is a Phalanx, with the Terra type Normal, which makes it immune to Ghost Attacks. That's not good for us, but she's just using non-effect attacks, so it doesn't matter. But right after that, she starts spamming Protect, and it's so annoying. Oh my god, can you stop spamming Protect? We get some chip damage too, with Horsepower, but she's just spamming Protect. She even gets a double Protect at some point. Very annoying.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
This Protect spam should be in all cases forbidden forever. It was very annoying, but we finally defeated her with some Horsepowers. And by that, we can get our first gym badge. Very nice. On the way to the first Titan, we meet a Sarut and catch a Excadrill with the ability Imposter. That's very fun. Arriving at the Titan, we see that it's Chirashi, who first of all is asserting some dominance, as you can see here. No, dominance, right? We do a lot of damage with some Bulldozers, while the Chirashi can barely hit us with Confusion. However, our horse gets confused, which is not so good. But another Bulldoze, and it's over with the Chirashi. Bye bye. Down below, it first breaks a wall. Arven comes running, joining us in the battle with a legendary bird called Ho-Oh. That's pretty crazy. However, he doesn't do any damage and completely relies on our Bulldoze to finish the Chirashi. He just heals us. So we continue to hit on it with Bulldoze, but it just doesn't want to die, so we Terra on Ground type to get some extra stab. To the third time, it gets down after Bulldoze. After a short talk with Arven, we get our first Titan badge. Next up is the second gym, where we need to find some Sunflora for the second challenge. As soon as we turn around, we already find one of those Sunflora. It doesn't quite look like one. Hello, are you a Sunflora? After we found our Sunflora, we can get back and send him to sleep. Second gym challenge, done. Now we can battle the second gym leader, called Braziers. Oh my god, he's so cool, he just jumps from windmills, did you see that? He is leading with a Poltergeist that we immediately copy with the ability of our Excadrill. It's so funny. It follows a Astonisher battle. It's just Astonisher, me and him using Astonisher until someone faints. We even Terra Crystallize to ground type, so we get a little less damage by the Ghost Attack. But after all, we just continue with the Astonish fight until he gets down. It follows with an Esper. The Esper is first decreasing our physical defenses with a leer. He does this 2 times, I don't know why. We just get him a shadow punch and he dies. Unlucky. He was such a cutie. He follows with a Dozion, which can't do any more harm to us. Not even with the Terra type Ghost. Because of the Ghost type, our Shadow Punch does even more damage. I get flashbacks to the first gym, but after a second Shadow Punch, he's down. Like this, we defeat Brazius and get our second gym badge. On the way to the second Titan, we catch a Nummel with the ability Mold Breaker, a Tinglu with the ability RKS System, a Silicobra with Steadfast, and a Mamoswine with Pixelate. Very nice. Aw, the Titan is actually a cute little spoink. Just look at it, it's so cute. Look how glorious, it's flying in the air. Immediately send out our new Tinglu, while Spoink tries to copy our status effects. Twice. We can just one-shot it with a heavy payback in its face. After that, it flees and punches the wall again. Arven comes up running again to help us with the bad Spoink. We send in Tinglu again. Arven is kinda useless using Avalanche on it, but we can just banish that Spoink with a heavy payback again. Some small talk later, we get our second Titan badge. On the way to the first team starbase, we punch some Pokemon. Ooh, who's this guy? I've never seen him before. Here, we went into our first team Starbase boss fight against Giacomo, who leads with a Shelter, while we lead with our Tinglu. At first, the Shelter confuses us, which doesn't bother us very much, and we get back at it with a payback. He is weakening our defenses, but another payback just does the deed, and we finish him off. Now we just gotta fight his car, which doesn't do any damage to us with Swift. However, our Tinglu just hits itself right now, and a Stump is not really doing much damage to our enemy. So we switch out to our horse, which also doesn't do a lot of damage with double kick. However, a few hits of our Rhyperia with Hammer Arm finally defeat the car, and we get our first Team Star badge. On the way to the third gym, catch a March Stomp with Cotton Down, a Duck Trio with Solid Rock, and a Sand Slash with the ability Technician. We punch some wild Pokemon again, and we arrive at the third gym. However, first of all, Nimona wants to get beaten up again. Of course, we will grant her the wish of a fight. After the battle against Nimona, we catch a Groudon with the ability Runaway. Perfect. Now we gotta find the Slender Man. Obviously, he's this guy right here. This guy. After passing, we get our fight against Yuno. She is leading with a Bastiodon, which is not really any danger to us. Our Golok can just take it out with 1 horsepower, whereupon she sends a Klefki in, which also just gets one-shot immediately. Next up is a shiny Pinnacle. Rock Tomb sadly doesn't do enough damage to one-shot it. However, the Pinnacle is just using Curse to increase his stats, which don't really matter. We punch him in the face and he's down. She sends in a Setoddle with the Terra-type Electric. Because of that, our Rock Tomb doesn't do that much damage. However, her Ice Shard also doesn't do much, and we can just finish her with horsepower. Third gym badge is now ours. We catch a Hippodon with the ability Multiscale, and a Donphan with the ability Solid Rock again. Nice. Right next to the Team Starbase, we encounter this ominous character again. If you liked the video so far, I would be happy if you subscribed and left a like for it. Thank you very much. We get into the ring with Mela of Team Star, our second Team Star base. She's starting off with a Scream Tail, which we can barely hit with our Iron Head, and she's even decreasing our attack with Battle Cry. However, since our Toadscool has a very special ability called Mirror Armor, we can just throw her Battle Cry back at herself. First, we try to get some damage in with Swift, but it's not that effective and doesn't do a lot of damage. So we switch to Duck Trio, and its Rock Tomb can finally defeat the Scream Tail. Now it's again us against her car. Don't get enough damage with Bulldoze in from Duck Trio, but our horse does a little bit more, so we went with it. And after lots and lots of Bulldoze spam, we can finally defeat the car with a final Bulldoze. And we get our second Team Star badge, very nice. Since we are very strong now, we can go immediately to the next Titan Pokemon. Our Firestorm does a lot of damage to this grass type. However, his Magical Leaf also does a good amount of damage to us. So we decide to get in with Dugtrio, which can easily kill it with a priority attack. Yay, Arwen is back. Sadly, he's not really helping us because he is setting Rain, which weakens our fire attacks. We don't do a lot of damage, even with the Fire Terra type. And Arwen decides to just kill-steal us with using Spark. Anyway, third Titan badge is ours. This crazy man will make us suffer. With that, our fourth gym battle begins against Kofu. He leads with Iron Hands that fakes us out. As revenge for faking us out, we give him 2 Earthquakes, which take him out easily. Kyurem? Why does he have a Kyurem? Oh my god, he's just switching into Kyurem, and it's so ugly. This Kyurem is just taking out all of our Pokemon, one after another. Dugtrio, Toadstool, Tinglu, and Numel. With that, we get sent off to a Poke Center with a defeated team. We need to get a new team. It consists of Groudon, Donphan, Hippowdon, Excadrill, Sandslash, Krokorok. Okay, next attempt. Now we will beat you up. Just naughty. This time we can increase our attack with Bulk Up, but that doesn't work out that well because he is just using Whirlwind to send us out of battle. Shortly after, we get back in, and what is he doing? Well, he sends us back out again. Well, 3 times a charm, let's try again. Oh well. Okay, 4th try and last try. We bulk up again. And now, we just give in an Earthquake in his face to one-shot him, which leads to him sending out his Kyurem that uses Endeavor. Thank you, very nice. 1 Iron Head and the Kyurem finally goes down. Next up is a Tropius with Terra-type Fire. We sadly don't do too much damage with Iron Head, and his Magical Leaf is kinda dangerous, but an Earthquake just takes it out. And now we have our 4th gym badge. You won't understand this reference if you're not German, but hey look, a cute duck. But look at this ability, Neuroforce. We punch the small Bulbasaur and get the kids to cry. Atticus is sending Weather Guards into the ring. However, since we got a new strat, we can just bulk up again, and bulk up again, and bulk up again. But sadly, the Weather Guard withstands our Iron Head, and we need 2 of them to get rid of it. Oh look, it's a Nugget. Nom nom nom. He follows up with a Hoppip, which also just gets obliterated by Iron Head. Alas, he sends in his car, as usual with those Team Star bosses. But since our Groudon is boosted to health, we can just one-shot him with an Earthquake. And now we get our 3rd Team Starbase badge. Right after that, we challenge the next gym leader, and it's Larry. He's the coolest one. He leads with an NK. But we just use our same strat as always. We bulk up, but this time the enemy uses Foul Play, which uses our own attack against us, which is not that good. So we decide to get rid of it. Next up is a cute little Snom, which is a perfect boost fodder for us. So we continue to spam bulk up. Right after, we one-shot it with an Iron Head. His Krokorok with the Ghost Terra type is also no danger to our Groudon. It can't do very much, and we just one-shot it with an Iron Head. That way, we get our 5th gym badge. Very nice. Not long after defeating the gym leader, Nimona gets back again and wants to get punished again. Well, let's go. We overhear how an old woman just bullies a small child, and she's even surprised about it. Of course, we gotta revenge that small kid by punishing this old lady in a double battle. She starts with a Litten and a Wartortle. In this battle, it's extremely important to Terra Crystallize first, so we get some nice boosts for it. The Flamethrower from Litten and the Aqua Tail from Wartortle doesn't do really much to us. Of course, we miss our Rock Tomb. But the crowd is in a good mood and is partying really hard. By applying a really risky Earthquake, we can take out the Litten and the Wartortle. Luckily, our Hippo is surviving. Next up is a Lampent and an Appleton. This dog is also in a great mood. Groudon defeats Appleton with an Iron Head, and our Hippo does great damage with Crunch to the Appleton. As revenge, we get a Nightshade in our face, which does lots of damage, but our Hippo just survives. Really great mood. At last, our Groudon takes out the Lampent with Iron Heads, and with that, we get our 6th Gym Badge. The 4th Titan is a giant Jigglypuff that's racing into us and immediately wants to get beaten up. No problem, Groudon kills it in one hit. Hey Arvin, what's up? You need to memorize this sentence, please. Just memorize it. Groudon, Iron Heads, Jigglypuff, almost done.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Well, and this giant explosion brings us the 4th Titan Badge. We catch a Gligar with Sticky Hold. And guess who wants to get beaten up again?
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
This gym challenge is really ridiculous, but right after we can challenge gym leader Tulip. She starts off with a Veluza and is committing to a boost battle. We use Bulk Up, she uses Fill It Away. I have never seen that attack before. Since this attack costs HP, she can't do it a second time. Really unlucky for her. Well, see you Veluza. Next up we have Floragato. We boost us with Bulk Up as always. She's trying to stop us from sleeping. I'm not sure why. I would like to sleep. Please let me sleep, oh my god. We just take another Bulk Up. Sadly, this energy ball is really hurting us. That's why we need to get rid of the cat and take it out. Of course she has a legendary, why wouldn't she? First off, she does lots of damage with Flamethrower. And because I'm dumb and use Iron Head, we sadly lose our Groudon to another Flamethrower. We get in with our Hippo. Thanks to Multiscale, we tank a hit of Flamethrower. And we can defeat the Reshiram with an Earthquake. At last, she sends in a Gastrodon, which she Terra Crystallizes to the type Poison. Her Muddy Water is doing lots of damage to us. That's why we switch into Sandslash, which also gets hit really hard by Earth Power. But we can also retaliate with a really strong Bulldoze. Luckily, the second Muddy Water misses us. That would have been really critical. A second Bulldoze in the end just takes the Gastrodon out and we win our 7th Gym Badge. Immediately to the last gym leader, Grusha. His first Pokemon is a Meditite, which we can immediately defeat with an Earthquake. The Skiddo that follows is a little bit more tanky, but after 2 crunches, it's also defeated. Dondozo, oh, that's a big fish. Our Earthquake does not much damage to it. And of course, he boosts his water attack with Rain Dance. We Terra Crystallize to ground so we can get a little bit more stab on our Earthquake, but it's sadly not enough. Luckily, he misses his attack right here, and the next Earthquake can defeat the big fish. His last Pokemon is a Corvisquire that gets Terra Crystallized into the type Psycho. Sadly, we lose our Hippo to a Brave Bird. That's really sad. I'm sorry, Great Hippo. Let's go, Dunfun. You can do it. 1 knockoff, it is defeated, and we got our 8th Gym Badge. Next up, we catch a Groudle with the ability Mind's Eye. We immediately evolve it to Torterra, so it gets its ground type. Team Star Leader Ortega. He is leading with the perfect boost fodder, so we can boost us up into the sky. And well, the rest of the battle is relatively easy. We just one-shot every single one of his Pokemon. It's pure obliteration. At last, his car gets sent into battle, which we cannot just one-shot. But well, it doesn't really matter much. He's not doing damage to us, so we can't just two-shot him. This is our 4th Team Starbase badge. After a bit of trauma dumping from Ortega, we make our way to the last Team Starbase. Here we battle against Eri, who leads with a Flareon. As usual, we are greedy and try to boost us up with Dragon Dance. However, she's using Scary Face, which is decreasing our speed. We need to get our speed back up. Flareon's Flamestorm even gives us a burn, which halves our physical attack. That's not really good for our boosted Pokemon. We proceed to try to boost us up, but she keeps using Scary Face to lower our speed again. But after some boost we finally give up and take out her Flareon with Earthquake. Next up is Appleton, and to avoid heavy damage on dragon attacks we Terra into type Ground. After that we can easily defeat the Appleton with our own dragon attacks. She follows up with Meloetta, which is sadly hitting us down to 1 HP of health. But luckily our Flygon has leftovers, so we can heal against the burn and take out 2 more Pokemon of Eri. At first we defeat the Meloetta, and secondly defeat a Fortress with the Terra type Ghost. At last but not least, we have to defeat the Carrigan. Sadly, we cannot one-shot it with Earthquake, and therefore our Flygon sadly needs to bite the dust. Luckily, we still have our Gligar. I didn't know till the end of this challenge that this is not the final form. With 2 targeted acrobatic hits, we can finally defeat the car and get our last Team Starbase badge. Eventually, we got all Team Starbase badges and gym badges, so the only thing that is missing is one last Titan badge. And the last Titan is a Groddle. Well, it's gone now. Where did it go? Where is it? Oh, it's down there, in the water. Please don't drown down there. Our Gligar is doing good damage, but we switch into our Sandslash to finish the Pokemon with Brick Break. Let's enjoy the sight of the water and look at this weird Pokemon sliding into a cave. Yo, Arven, what up? We basically do the same thing with Gligar. We switch into our Sandslash to make huge damage with Brick Break, after which Arven can just kill steal us again with Metronome. He even does it with Aqua Wave. What's up with this boy? I'm not sure. Shortly after we noticed that was not everything, and it comes back. Here we can finally see the Groddle, and we can finish it really easy with some nice acrobatics. Of course, Arven kill steals again. Last Titan badge, very nice. We catch a Great Tusk with Tough Claws. I am really not sure what this Landorus is doing, but it has stamina. Next up is just the Pokemon League, and I'm preparing really hard for it. I get the TM Swords Dance, which gets really important later on. I get some vitamins and finally make my way to the league. Once inside, we hold a quick talk with Rika. Rika is also our first match in the Pokemon League. He is leading with a Bramblegast, and our strategy is to get our Toxic Spikes 2 times, so the enemy always gets harshly poisoned. His strategy is apparently to curse us, and that's why we immediately switch to Great Tusk to give him an Iron Head. His next curse is sadly defeating himself. I'm not sure why he did this. After this easy defeat, his next Pokemon is Quagsire. We get in with Torterra. Since this Torterra is physical as well as special, we can do huge damage with Giga Drain. At the same time, we also boost our defenses with Iron Defense. The following Plusle we just take out with Earthquake, and Conkeldurr meets a similar fate. It gets poisoned and gets damaged by Giga Drain. We use this chance to boost our defenses a little bit more, just for the last Pokemon, we never know. And it's a Hoopa. Of course, always those legendaries. It uses Wonder Room to switch our special def with our physical def, really weird. Sadly, Giga Drain doesn't do as much damage, but we just brute force it and get it down eventually. And that was the first battle of the Pokemon League, only 4 to go. In the meantime, we heal our team up before we start the second battle against the top 4. And it's Puppy. We decide us to lead with Garchomp to go back to our old boost strategy. Well, yeah, you can see, we just boost us up again and again, until we are a heavy monster. The little mouse even steals our Swords Dance and Swords Dance itself. Luckily, it doesn't get to attack us. Since it's a little bit dangerous to continue boosting, we just press Earthquake and delete it. After this point, everything is pretty easy. We just one-shot every single Pokemon of her again. Yeah, it's pure destruction once again. And that's how we win against the second top 4. It's time for our rematch against Larry. He is leading up with the perfect boost fodder again, and you know what that means. We just boost us up again and one-shot his entire team. Third member down, let's go to the last one. And that one is Hassel. Of course, he just leads with Boost Fodder again, and we can basically do the same trick. Yeah, I know, right? This Pokemon League is pretty boring, and yeah, we got him. Nice, it's champ time, the last battle of the league. And the battle is against Geeta, the Pokemon champ. Because she's starting out with a strong Iron Hands, I decide to only boost 2 times for now. Because it could be an actual threat to us. Her attacks do decent damage. But now, with one of our Earthquakes, we can take it out immediately. Thank you, Geeta. Very nice of you. She's sending in a Copperaja, which we of course can just one-shot with an Earthquake. The following puzzle gives us a really nice ability with entertainment. It's Chilling May, that is the ability of the White Calyrex, which gives us 1 attack boost for each defeated Pokemon. We are already at max attack, but why wouldn't we take it, I guess? Swanna is following, which just gets obliterated by a Dragon Claw. Oh no, it's a Mewtwo, what's up with that? And this Mewtwo even steals us our attack boost for itself. Oh my god, that is so bad. And sadly, our Earthquake doesn't one-shot it. Well, here are the stats again. Luckily for us, the Mewtwo just uses a special attack and cannot do that much damage to us. So our final Earthquake can finish the Mewtwo. Her last Pokemon is a Snover. We Terra Crystallize into Ground type, so we don't tank heavy ice attacks. It doesn't really matter at all though, since we can just one-shot this and win the Pokemon League. After we've beat the league, there are only 5 boss fights left for us. After we get celebrated for a bit and Nimona stalks us again, we immediately take our way to the last battles. First of which is against this interesting character, who is actually our professor. Oh my god, who would have known that? Anyway, let's just defeat this madman. His first Pokemon is a Slacking. Since we're a bit scared of this Pokemon, we immediately push for Earthquake, which doesn't turn out well because he is counter. That way, he can just defeat our Garchomp. Our Great Tusk tanks a Mega Kick, but can finish the Litter King with a Brick Break. Sadly, it's not enough for this little bird, which defeats our Great Tusk with a Hurricane. Ouch, that's hard. Let's go, Tatagra, you can do it. Luckily for us, the Oricorio is so dumb that it just keeps increasing its speed, so it's even faster than our slowest Pokemon. Well, we just defeat it with a Hyper Voice. Aw, it's a cute Popplio. Against this little guy, we can just increase our defenses. The Popplio just doesn't do much against us, so we just keep pushing for defense. Fortunately for us, this Hydro Pump doesn't hit us. 1 Giga Drain later, and the Popplio is defeated. Oh well, 1 Wild Leggy Summer Center incoming. And he's doing the same as us, he's boosting his defense. So our Earthquake doesn't do a lot of damage. But his Iron Heads also doesn't do a lot of damage to us. So this ends up getting a Giga Drain battle and we just brute force it in the end. Well, he's just throwing legendary Pokemon at us. Magiana, what's up with that? Well, 1 Earthquake and it's dead. At last he sends out a Meganium with the Terra-type Dragon. He sets up his defenses and we notice that Hyper Voice is not doing any damage. Nor does our Earthquake hit it very much. But since we don't really have any other options, we just keep brute forcing this with Earthquake until it's finally defeated. That makes 4 battles left. Once on the roof of the academy, we finally get revealed who is the actual boss of Team Star. And oh my god, it is Penny. How did I not get this? She starts off with a Melodic. We replaced Garchomp with the Landorus, who can also just use Bulk Up to get rid of the enemy's Pokemon. So we can return to our usual strategy of boosting up and one-shotting every single Pokemon. Against this little candle, we can get in some more Bulk Ups and get rid of it with an Earthquake. Next up is a Magmortar, which also doesn't live long. This little Charcadet also doesn't stand a chance against our boost attacks. I'm so sorry. Aw, I'm so sorry, it's so cute. Well, we got her. Well, you know it, we got some more trauma dumping from Team Star, after which we get to the next battle against Armin. He leads with perfect boost fodder and you know what we do, we just boost up with Bulk Up, after which we can finish his Pokemon off very easily. Here is some more boost fodder, so we just use Bulk Up again. And again. After that we can defeat it with a Hammer Arm. This cute little thing can't do anything against us as well, I'm sorry. Oh well, now he's pulling out the real defenses, right? Well, apparently he's Leggy Hunter. Bye bye, small little monkey. At last he has a Koffing with the Terra type fire, but well, it also doesn't defeat us. And he's done. Oh well, next battle against Nimona, and she leads with perfect boost fodder. As you can see, just spam Bull Cup and one-shot her entire team again. Oh, look at that, it's a Hippodon. We also had that. First, it damages itself and gets one-shot by our Earthquake. Oh look, it's a second Hippodon. What the heck? This time we need 2 Earthquakes due to multi-scale. But well, it's whatever. Next up is Hippodon. The following Slackoff and the Excadrill also can't do really much against us, and we just one-shot them with Earthquake. At last, there is an Armorock, which baits our Earthquake with Terra Flying. That was a really nice try, and she even does lots of damage to us. Look at this. But since we are boosted this hard, we can just one-shot her with Crunch and defeat her in our last battle with her. After our last battle with Nimona, we get to Area 0 immediately. On our way down to the bottom, we meet many different Pokemon, like a Giratina, a small little bird, and a strong Graveler. As we arrive at the bottom, we need to defeat some more wild Pokemon, a Donphan, a Haunter, and a big Sashen. The last battle against Turo is ahead of us. Of course, the professor starts with perfect boost fodder. Well, you know what we do, we just spam Bulk Up again. This is the easiest professor I ever had. We just one-shotted every single one of his Pokemon. Even this cute little Siliconda. Oh my god, what was that? And so, we defeated the last boss of this challenge. But it's not over yet. He's sending his last Pokemon in. It's a Koffing. And we can't do anything. Miraidon! Los, Miraidon! Du schaffst das! Let's go, Miraidon! Hä? Kannst du dich mal bitte verwandeln? Wird das jetzt zu einem anderen Pokémon? Was ist denn? Was ist denn? Oh well, with the given Marshtomp, we just keep spamming Terra Blast for now. The Koffing tries to get us with a Hyper Beam, but it doesn't quite work out, and we have 1 HP left. After Terra Crystallization, we can use a more stronger Terra Blast, but it's still not enough to finish him off. Sadly, we don't do that much damage against him, so it takes 3 more times of Terra Blast to finally get rid of his Koffing. And that was really the last battle in this challenge. After defeating the Professor, He's just skating way into the future with his time machine. That's so evil. Why wouldn't he stay with us? He's just leaving us all alone here in this world. At the end, we are with our friends and we are walking into the sunset. How beautiful. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And even though I'm a German channel, I would be glad to see you over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Sarakani. And with that, I'm saying goodbye. Bye bye. See ya.